Warning: what you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome to another edition of The Senate. I'm your host, Neil Hoyt. He's your host, Derek Marshall. And we are here once again, to get into it. My woman thing, things happening in the society, perspective from men, listening to the perspective of women, and kind of trying to meet in the middle. Derek, how you doing? What's up? Talk to me, my brother.
Hail people, I am good, my brother. I am good. What's going on your
Uh,
side?
I
Talk to
am
me.
great. I am in a great space mentally, and let's get it. No, um, we start G Syndicate. I don't know who's listening or whatever, but you could just tell them how to find G Syndicate. G Syndicate is the a
Yeah,
cappella group that
man.
you would have heard and seen their vocals and visuals before the episode aired. While we were getting ready for 8 o'clock. So Derek, take it away, my brother.
Yeah, man. As always, you can check us out on gsyndicate6.com, gsyndicate6 on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Mark, he's the guy, he deals with all this social media stuff. So if you know Mark and you want to give Mark a shout out, big up Mark for the work he does. We're actually preparing to do a bit of a recording, some content for y'all guys very, very soon. So we get in ready for that. Kiyomal, he's putting in some extra work in that regard. So great stuff happening for us. Shout out to you guys again, Kiyomal, Mark, Raiden, Brett, Antonio. We're the premier a cappella group vocal band in the region.
Mm-hmm.
And we do, all different styles of music and then put a little Caribbean twist on it. So yeah, that's all it is with
All
us.
right, good. No, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that have joined us, good night. Thank you for joining us. Again, we are following on. Well, before we follow on, we obviously want to give perspectives from men. That's part of what this show is about. No, Derek approached me about this. We both, and I agreed with him, that we should tackle something that's been happening in Barbados recently when it comes to freedom of speech, creative expression, that kind of stuff. And as two men that are in the industry, Derek is a performing artist. Hey, Jimmy, no problem that you can't stay so long. We're still grateful that you came in and you people. You could always check us on the Instagram. Sorry, not Instagram. Yeah, well, Instagram, but you could check us on Facebook, YouTube for the episodes later on. So, anyhow, long talk. We get into the Trojan Rhythm. Now, for those of you that are not aware, a group, Little Rick, he created a rhythm called the Trojan Rhythm, a very good rhythm in my opinion. And some artists himself, Peter Ramby and the Elder Statesman, and some younger artists hopped onto the rhythm and they sang some pretty inflammatory lyrics about gun violence and about that kind of energy, that masculine dominant energy. And people are having they took exception of it. Good night, Jennifer. Hope you well. They took exception to it. Digicel dropped one of the artists. Decided, they decided to part ways, and then social media has well, not even social media, but combined with social media in person, they would have forced Digicel to now want to reach back out to Lead Pipe to re-engage him, but Lead Pipe said he done with that. So we decided, we both agreed, Derek brought it to me and I agreed, that as two creatives in this space, we're going to talk about it, comment on it, and give our perspectives, especially when it comes to censorship and freedom of expression, or even if there's such a thing here in Barbados. I'll kind of get into it. So, Derek, behind the scenes, we always talk about your struggles as a performing artist. You have a group, a cappella group, and you're
Yep.
doing things like R&B, positive lyrics or lyrics that are not so incendiary. What is your take with the whole brouhaha? I can let you talk for yourself because we did have a little commentary offline about it.
Yeah. For me, there is the freedom of expression, and I think with any freedom, you need to temper the freedom with responsibility, right? And whether the art is influencing the society or the society's influence in the art. They say art imitates life, life imitates art. Whichever comes first, the chicken or the egg, it still needs to be some kind of temperance. Can they cut in?
Yeah, shout out Kanye.
Yeah, there needs to be some kind of, I think you need to temper it with some kind of responsibility. And for me, as an artist, myself, it's not the kind of music that I would do. Having said that, is the kind of music that, because shoot, we grew up in the 90s, like the heyday of van culture, if you want to call it that. And you know, you get on a van, you can hear all this kind
You
of
will
stuff.
hear some things.
Yeah, you will hear some things. And we grew up through that. But I think the real crux of the matter that nobody has really addressed. We talking about who bringing in the guns in the island, and why would the fellas feel they have to sing that kind of stuff. People saying, how did you say I could drop a man when they know the man has been doing that kind of music all his life, that kind of thing. These fellas live that, so that's what they're expressing. We get it, right? At some point, we need to recognize personal responsibility. I know we're going to throw that these fellas are not supposed to be anybody's role models, and that is true. But there needs to be some kind of responsibility. The first time I would have heard Mole was in the House of Soca Calypso Tech. Believe it or not, this 2008. And he did a song about the girls on Facebook. The girls on Facebook, them ain't easy. They would do anything just to please me, right? And I remember thinking, even back then, my man got a little talent, you know what I mean? There's so many things that you need to kind of unpack with this situation. Why would a guy like Mole, who's very talented, having worked with him myself, could just give him a couple of minutes and he can write something for you like that, right? Why would he feel the need to do something like this, right? Why would two elder statesmen, as you call them, in Rick and Ram, feel the need to continue to do something like this? Because we all know that Rick and Ram come out to that.
Yep, that's where they come from.
Way back in the day. And then you got the question, why are people surprised that they do something like this? I guess it's because people figured that they've kind of elevated their status. And as such should, let's say we elevated their status. That they've elevated their status, and as such they should kind of separate themselves from certain things. They got Rick for giving the men a little platform and a rhythm and thing to write. Yeah. But I really concerned about the fact that all the men felt the need to go down a similar vein and render something like that. Yeah, I just was a little, I was disappointed, but not surprised in what we got from the men. To be fair and to be very honest and open, transparent, I ain't saying that when they go, that I don't listen to their kind of things. I won't enjoy their things. When their things come on, I ain't gonna lick 2 shots. You know, we've all done it. We've all done it, right? So you can, on one hand, say, oh, tell the men don't record this here, and you know, that's why all 7, 8, 9, 10 men on the rhythm sing the same thing, right? Why they felt the need to do that. And then why do we feel the need to continue to consume it? Those are the questions, right? And for me, you know, it's not the kind of thing that I would produce for myself or for G Syndicate. And it just would. And if that's what the men, their lived experience and they want to share that, yeah, more power to them. But here's my thing, right? I still think, I believe firmly we should approach music as a business, right? And we gotta ask ourselves. I got a partner, you and I, we have a mutual friend who said, you know, it was actually saying the market it was created for was not the general public. Correct. And that's the problem, that we've allowed this kind of thing to become mainstream. Because we sit in silence, we don't say anything. And then when we do say something, no, we've become so desensitized that now we good with this kind of thing, and we are now siding with the artists and encouraging the artists to produce this kind of thing. I approach music like this. I was telling Mark last night after rehearsal, right? I am not going to produce anything that I don't want my daughter to listen to. You put it that way. If I don't think that she can listen to it, I ain't gonna produce it. It probably mean that I ain't gonna get the kind of forward I'm looking for, but that's what how the cookie crumbles, right? At some point, as I said at the top of the show, you need to temper your creativity with some responsibility. Your freedom, and in brackets of expression with some responsibility. Yeah, you're free to do what you like. Sure, you may be free to walk up and be just be like say, the boy can't do me that for talking out my mouth. Right? You're free to say what you want. But people are also free to say and do what they want to. For everything you do, there are consequences. And I think we're not grasping that in this situation. Right. With the lead pipe thing, you got to know that for the time somebody else is financing you, to whatever extent they are, they know how to hold a stake in the stuff that you do.
Okay, so I just want to make sure you finish making your point, because I have a similar stance, but it's slightly different. Because at the end of the day, I do believe that your consequences bring about the necessary actions, whether we like it or dislike it. And I do agree that everybody's entitled to their opinion. You may be a person that doesn't like the music. I actually do really like that type of music. And that comes from a time in my life where I grew up in a place that was where that used to happen. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll put it this way. Chris Rock, my guy, Chris Rock, I'll tell you, the music you grew up to, the music that you started having sex to, that's the music you're going to love for the rest of your life. So if you start, sexing the war tunes, then that's the music you're going to like for the rest of your life.
There you go. So I think that there is a space for expression. I don't necessarily have a problem with the artists expressing themselves, even Lyric and Ram, expressing themselves the way they did, even in this climate, even because they didn't put it on radio. It's not like they put it in a space, because as Jimmy said, it is for a certain, it's not for everybody. It's not mainstream, right? And the thing about it is that I don't have a problem with people even having the opinion that they shouldn't sing that music, because that is how a society should be. There should always be pushback and challenges with it. Whether government does it or whether artists do it, you should always have some type of pushback and holding of accountability here. I see Carrie. Carrie is saying here for a bit. Good night, brother. Thanks for joining. Hope everything is well. But yeah, in my opinion, everybody's entitled to their own opinion on the matter, right? On that type of music, right? And yes, you can cite examples of when certain music was being sung back in the 60s, the 50s, the 70s. Like violent music, lovemaking music, crude music has always been played in the society. As the society gets more and more free up or more restrictive, the music will reflect that. And that is exactly my point. The point is that music is reflective of the society. To me, what it shows is that those young men, whether they're directly experienced or exposed to those sorts of things, have been exposed to them as part of their environment. It may be part of what they've been exposed of, their parenting and everything that I'm factoring. Like, you don't just one day wake up. Like, I ain't gonna get up one morning and just sing about gun tune. I never hold a gun once in my life, and that was at the shooting range at Parkin. Right? I ain't got no gun. I don't own a gun. I ain't getting and slap the body with no, what is call it, a Luger or Ruger or whatever. I ain't doing nothing so. But I love that music because it represents a time in my life where that is where I was. Right? So my problem comes when I don't even have a problem to touch the corporate Barbados side. Once it is not violating the contract, once it's not violating terms of the contract, you are free to do what you want to do. However, just know that if you carry a step too far and it breaches the wording of the contract, you got to go. With that being said, I think the problem here comes in people taking the stance that as if gun violence is that the music is responsible for the gun violence. Because I actually liken this music to social commentary. This is what's happening in our society. Not direct social commentary. And like the men get on, it's not like directly, but the men are speaking about what they know or what they have heard or what they've been exposed to or what's around their environment. That means there's a failing in certain aspects of our society that we got to talk. For example, there is gun violence. The men singing about pulling up, they're very specific in the guns that they're talking about. So if they're so specific in the guns that they're talking about, then you have to ask, where are these guns coming from? How are they getting through? How are they getting onto our shores and into young men's hands? How are they going about doing certain things? Neka, I see Neka, good night, Neka. I see she's poorly timed release. I even disagree with that because there's never a good time to release a song saying that you're going to blow off of my head and that kind of thing. There's no right time for that. There's no right time for that. If we have a time for peace and tranquility in the country, and then that was released, it can be like, child, boy, these men looking to incite violence. You understand? So we have to be careful in saying about they shouldn't play this and they shouldn't do that and they should censor this and they should censor that, because where does the line? Censorship is one of those lines that you can always hear. Where do you stop that line? You can keep rubbing it out and moving it, rubbing it out and moving it, right? And there's a level of expression and creativity that artists have. You should be free to sing about shooting off of my head. You should be free to talk about women's parts. You should be free to talk about what you want, right? The only thing is you're not directly speaking to a particular person. That's different. But to me, we have to address the more important points that are happening. The Auditor General report came out and nobody was talking about that. Everybody talking about the gun violence and talking about the song. Nobody is talking about how the guns have gotten so prevalent in the country. Nobody is talking about how young men would rather go and buy guns or borrow guns or rent guns, because they found out last year that that's a thing. Men renting guns, which is crazy to me. Men renting guns or walking about with things with a banana clip and that kind of thing, right? And feel empowered to do that instead of using their fists or even talking about it, right? So we could talk about single mothers, we could talk about absent fathers, we could talk about abusive parents, we could talk about lack of education, welfare. A mother go to work 3 or 4 jobs instead of stopping home and taking care of her child, minimum wage. There's so many things that we can look at this problem before looking at the music, because to me, the music is the end result. The music is the, oh shoot, we're going too far. Because I bet you, if we did not have any guns in the country, I bet you if crime and violence was down to an all-time low, what would we be singing about? What would we be singing about?
Well, this time of year, you be generally singing
walking up. Exactly. So the music would, that's the thing, the music would be out there. I'm not saying the guys would not sing that type of music, but the impetus to sing that type of music ain't necessary. You understand? So,
but you know, Neil, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. And the thing that was causing me a lot of consternation over the past couple of days, right? I started to hear a lot of very interesting perspectives because you started to hear, oh, well, for instance, Rihanna sing about shooting down man. The Jamaicans sing about this thing for years. Yeah, these things have existed for years. Shoot, this is the first time we got guns on island. You know what I mean? Why are we at this point?
The ways.
Right? My man Katin is saying, I heard people making reference to the entertainers' children and that they probably don't let their kids listen to it. Really, these people aren't in a space, but I believe we're trying to ignore that it comes down to control of one's mind and the fundamental seeds that were initially planted. Good night to Lisa.
Hey, good night, Lisa. What's up?
She's saying the rhythm is a year old and plays on YouTube 3 months or so ago. Yeah. But here's the thing, guys, right? Here's the thing. The problems are not new, right? We get from the van and they had before Buju was, when as a partner of mine, his mother would say, when Buju was unconscious, and she had a whole set of shoes back in the day. Shoot, we have a classmate that used to leave the Spanish class early to show up before. Used to knock out a class early to go and get my van. You know what I mean?
Because that's back in the time of Sonic Boom and
you know what I mean?
What was the other one? I can't remember. Tropic Thunder or whatever, Blue Thunder or whatever.
whatever it is. But so the problems are not new. You have to. The music is not new. Why is it now such a massive issue? Here we go. Accessibility.
You know,
that's one of the big things because everybody with a smartphone can access that stuff.
But I can tell you, I can actually hit back on you here, right? Because it ain't even accessibility, because the accessibility has been around now prevalently for the last 10, 12 years. The music has been like this because we remember Crab Soldier. You remember they got Crime Son. These songs have been around the last 10 years. You know what's the difference? Is that the rhythm hard and the music is creative. Because that's why like a... No, watch it. Hold on, no. But wait, hold on. Hold on, give me a minute.
Crab Soldier, my man, Crab Soldier. I would like to hear Crab Soldier play.
I would love to. Oh, right? Me too. I was like, hey, what Crab Soldier?
To be honest,
I would love to hear you play rhythm too.
So the real challenge now is the parental control.
It's true.
Is now gone.
It's true.
That is where it is. There's more ease of accessibility because of YouTube. But maybe they're going to school and handle YouTube.
Wait, Nick Moore. That's the Nick Moore. There's another Nick Moore that I hit out smart screen.
Right? If we want to hear that music, we had to get for a man. Right? Or you had to rely upon a man that went to school with you that was from the block or whatever to bring a theater.
You know, remember? There's a particular song I would never forget, dog. We was in second form. And there was a particular song talking about kill the... I remember we used to be hunting this song. Me and you particularly, we was like, yo, we got to hear this song. We got to get this song. But obviously, I'm playing for radio. Yeah, and I would never forget a man had bring school to tape. And I said that, what? Bring that school to more. Everybody bring school boombox and all sorts of things to record. I'll never forget that.
You know what I mean? Because there was not that ease of accessibility. Right. They didn't have it. No, you could find it on YouTube. Somebody could WhatsApp it to you. Shoot, things that you don't want to hear, you just get 6, 7, 7
But here's the thing. Derek. My thing is, do you know Brutal Crankstar, right?
Yeah.
Chief Din, Malice, all of these guys, like, because I went on YouTube. As I say, I love that type of music. I love the creativity. I love the cleverness of the lyrics, right? And I went looking on it. I found it on YouTube and whatever, and I realized that these guys have had music out for a while. So why all of a sudden these men released music last year, 2018, 19, 17, then all the way about 2011? Why all of a sudden now is it a problem? And don't tell me that it's because the timing is off. I see poorly released by Naked. No, because if there was no gun violence, if there weren't what was going on in society, everybody would be like, okay, we can get our music a pass. No, because people in Jamaica are saying that the rhythm is hard and it was well executed by the artists. It is getting regional recognition and probably international recognition because it is on par with that type of genre in Jamaica and from Jamaica. Therefore, if that is the problem, that it is because no, if it's good, everybody's sharing it. But as you say, acceptability. So are you like this?
I don't know, Neil, if it's a matter of it being shared because it's good. Because we share some other artists that I rather not call because they don't. But
we can't wash with the same brush because there are some artists people share because they want to laugh. Like, look at what joke this man saying. But people are not sharing that music because they're sharing joke. People are saying that sharing because they're clever lyrics.
I don't believe that either. I think it's been shared because it's not been sensationalized.
Maybe we
and it has become a thing. So now people are going to look for this music and figure out what it is. And because like anything else, if you hear it often enough, you might start to like it, which is why you haven't really consumed much of it because it's like, I don't really want this in my consciousness. Right. They got another song that's very, very popular come out here the other day, talking about body parts that brawling and things.
But listen, today
I've heard 2 lines
today
of that.
I said the same thing,
No offense to the man, but I just ain't consuming
But watch it, right? Watch it. We live in a Me Too time. We live in the time of life and leggings. We live in a time where objectifying women publicly and in songs and stuff like that will get you cancelled. My man has a song called Your Boxy Look Brawling, Galling, right? And why nobody kick up at that? Why nobody say, well, shoot, this man is objectifying women. This man is objectifying women. Why are we selective with what we get upset about? And that's my problem with society. And you know, it is funny because this is gonna tie into the part two of what we were talking about on Tuesday, right? Because it showed Derek and myself with the back and forth we have with people in the chat, which we love. We love being challenged, but it kind of shows us that we choose what to get upset at. We choose what to want to be activists for. So to me, everybody is kicking out on the music, or the music is violent and it is, there's a poor time and you're inciting violence and this and that, the next, the third. But if they had no violence, I can understand there was none. You can say he incited violence, but whether them sing it or sing it not, you think that can stop the man from shooting at the place? And then you can get and talk about life and leggings. If we as we say every now and then when we got a topic, we dress up nice because we know if we go viral, we gotta look good, right? Because people have called us misogynistic, people have called us sexist, childish, part of the patriarchal system. And the thing about it is, a man release a song, your boxy look brawling, galling, da 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 da, and the same women, that just get on their high horse talking about sexist, misogynistic, and crying down men all every day on social media, would gladly say my boxy ain't that big, but brawling, galling, and they love that. So to me,
as Chris would tell you, women that like rap don't give a
exactly. So
they come on and you say, well, this music objectifying me, women, and they would tell you, he ain't talking about me. Women, you can tell me if I like
exactly. Or not. And my last point on this is that I remember years ago, Sizzla came here. This is after this is well into Sizzla's career. Sizzla had like 20 albums, right? And Sizzla, they were, he had that song, pum pa par boom boom pum pa par boom boom, and everybody was like, yo, that's kind of off topic, off message for Sizzla, So when he came here, because he had a show, I think it was for the Reggae Festival, they interviewed him and said, well, Sizzla, a lot of people have been giving some critical feedback on Pum Pum Par Poom Poom, and people are saying that you're not known for this. You usually sing conscious, uplifting, inspirational songs. Why would you switch up and sing that? And is this a new, different Sizzla that we can anticipate in future? Sizzla said, listen, he's an artist and he sings about experience in life. Imam says sometimes he has to talk about Rastafarianism. He has to sing about peace. He has to big up his mother. He has to speak about the system. And then sometimes he just want to make love to a woman. So, granted, for him, it is off-brand. But when he brought it from that perspective, it made me think, like, there are times where you feel aggressive. How many of us go to the gym and listening to aggressive music, rock, metal, rap, NWA? You know how many male friends, and even the women too, that listen to some real slap, offensive, violent music while they're working out, that could come and not get offended because the Trojan Rhythm come on and the man talking about, master, you feel hard dark, mine pitch black. That's clever. But people see that as, oh, he is the reason society going. I don't agree. I ain't there. I would say, let us work on the problem instead of talking about the results of the problem.
Yeah, I would agree with that. In that there's some things that we kind of missing out on, and people use the term scapegoat. I think I would be fair to say that is why it comes over as if the artists are the scapegoats for this particular thing, and it's unfortunate. But why do the artists look at it this way? This is my thing, right? Rick, firmly established artists, right? When you talk about the top entertainers in Barbados, Rick name in top 5 and he in the number 5, right? Ram also among the upper echelons, right? Both of them.
Lead pipe in there.
In there as well. More up and coming. The other men kind of,
but that's their lane.
Disparaging to the men, but disparaging, not to be disparaging to the men or pejorative, but they are up and coming artists. SK, a Bashment Soca Monarch. Rick, when everything except Pickety Crop. Ram, Party Monarch winner. Royal March winner. They played a Royal March winner. Represented us at International Soca Monarch only last year. Why do these men feel the need to do this? That's what I really want to know, right? And I'll tell you why. Because there seems to be the belief, right, that doing something outside of that gets you nowhere. You don't get any money, you don't get any form, right? Why is that? So, because I made a post today, right, on this same Facebook. I made a post and I made the point. I am heartened because I see a lot of people saying, like Pipe was right not to go back and stuff like that. I don't completely agree with that.
You mean him going? You mean him going back, or they're reaching back to him, reaching back out to him?
Him not going back. Because as an artist myself, music is a very expensive venture, right? And it's okay to got people gassing you up, right? And telling you, yeah, stick it to the man. Yeah, don't let it call you back using a dog. And it's hard to say that there until you get billed.
Especially in these times.
In these times, the gigs ain't stirring. So when you get a bill here turn up nowhere, you gotta pay. Me personally, if I was him, I would have gone back, renegotiated my contract so that it's more beneficial to me, because the fact that they reached out to him means he knows how to.
But that's the thing, because that's a new contract making, you get back in the same contract.
Exactly. So he got a little bit more leverage. He got all the steam from the Belgians battery pack back. Sure. Renegotiate for something for better terms in your contract now, as opposed to walking away from a sponsor like Digicel, who's do all the big shows in Barbados, right? Who's put money behind regional shows as well. You know what I mean? Don't just walk away from that because they're just gassing you up, right? There's an artist here in Barbados, right? There's an artist here in Barbados who said, I will never forget this. Last year, I was taking a drive through town, and I was listening to one of the quality programs. I like to drive a lot. I like to drive at night as well too. So just gather my thoughts, listen to, as you get older, like talk radio as well. So I was listening to a program that they had. And there were some artists in discussion with Randy Eastman and Sluggy. They had, I can't remember the name of the program, but some artists were on it. Young up-and-coming artists. Actually, Cindy Celeste was on that particular. So that's one of the reasons I was listening. And Dave Brown was the other artist, and he was the person talking. And Dave Brown said, people were telling him how much they loved his videos and his content and stuff like that. And, he should really do a live show and all that. And he said, you know what? I want to write.
Yep.
And he had that battery in his back from these people gassing him up. And he went and he held the show at the museum over a weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 nights.
At the gym?
Show. At the museum.
Okay.
Right? Show at the museum. He said he had a grand total of 9 people over the weekend, not for one show, over the weekend.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Right? Coming up now, for my own personal experience with G Syndicate, man, when I made sound real good, you should produce an album, when it should do this and it should do that. And then you get in your mind, people, and you put yourself in expense, deciding, you know what, I am good. The people want this album, they want this music, they want this, they want that, the next thing you heard. They want a live show, you decide you're going to hold a show. You hold a show, and then you say, man, we got this show coming up, you're going to buy a ticket. Man, I do this thing so long that I know when people ain't buying that. I know when people going to bullshit me. And I'm like, so when I get it, man, it's okay, no problem.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And they keep it trucking, right? So I really hope that the people that gas it up these men, don't take the man money. Stick it to the man. And I hope when these artists, whomever they are, decide that they're holding a show, that you all come out in your numbers and support these men.
Nah, the support is sharing and liking, brother. Sharing, subscribing, liking.
Sharing and liking cannot pay for a venue.
Anyhow, it's so funny, right? We said we were going to talk 15 minutes on this, but I guess I kind of knew it wasn't going to do that, because every year we seem to have these conversations when it comes to music and support, and when who the people's champion don't win. who vex, and we get into it. But yeah, we would like to hear your comments on it. You can let us know, what do you think about the whole Trojan Rhythm debacle? Do you think that the artists were well in their right to express themselves however they see fit, or do you think that it was poor timing in releasing it, or do you think that they shouldn't release that type of music at all? Do you think that they're scapegoats and there's a plaster for a sore that really and truly is festering? Let us know what y'all think. Anyhow, my brother Marshall, the people come to hear about polygamy some more, and some cheating. I found it very interesting, the conversations that came out of Tuesday night's episode. For those of you that didn't know, we would have talked about polygamy. As you see the title of this, Polygamy Continued, but we spoke about polygamy, all of the facets of it from both sides, men and women. And we started to get into the discussion of why men and women are so nonchalant with cheating. And then it sort of got sidetracked by another discussion which we talked about before, and even that was interesting in itself, but we ain't going back there right now. So Derek, why do you think, let's speak from the perspective of men, right? Let's not speak for women. The women can let us know why you think that women are nonchalant about cheating. Why is cheating so prevalent today, and why people are more, don't let me say more willing, but yeah, what is the attitude? But what is the attitude? So yeah, whatever. Yeah, cavalier is a good term. So Derek, we can speak from let us know, women, what you think in the comment section. Derek and I will handle the men. And men, of course, if you feel to comment, you all could comment as well. Rian, good night. I see Keith, good night. Glad you all are joining us. We got some good women. So again, Rian, I don't know if you're now joining us, but I'm imploring women to just express in their opinion why from their side, women are so nonchalant about cheating in these days. It is not about who is more nonchalant or who cheats more or whatever. We are just basically speaking. Yes, we're on YouTube, Keitha. You can check us out. The Senate podcast on YouTube. We're actually streaming right now. So if that's convenient for you, that's fine. But you can actually, well, no, I don't know. But maybe I should put the link. Can I copy the link? I wonder if I could do that. If I could copy the link and share it. Let me copy it here. And let me go to YouTube. Facebook, sorry, and I will post it there. So that is the link to our YouTube. So if Facebook is giving you problems, you can go over there. We are streaming at the same time. Anyhow, technology is wonderful. Yeah, so women, just let us know in your opinion what when it comes to what? When it comes to the nonchalant cheating from your gender. No. Derek, in your opinion, why are men so nonchalant about cheating? Why are men so cavalier, as you put it, I love that word, cavalier, to cheat in 2021 and kind of look at it as, you know what, could as well going to cheat. What was the sense in trying to stick this out and fix this up?
Well, I think they got a lot of things at play, at work here. I think first and foremost, we have been desensitized. The stigma has been removed from, the old-fashioned horning, if we call it that. There are a whole set of other things that come in, but some people have genuine issues committing. Then there are some men who have unmet needs physically for whatever reason. Some people, their drives don't match with their partners. Men, a lot of times, you hear the infamous words, you can't eat rice every day.
Yeah.
That's part of that's one of the things you would hear. Those are just a couple of reasons. But, I gave the analogy, I think it was last week. Men are wired a bit differently when it comes to sex, right? And that is the main reason that men cheat for me. The emotional connection and all that ain't really necessary. I heard somebody describe it like this. A man could have sex with a woman today, she get hit by a car tomorrow. Don't face it. Because that emotional connection is not there. Sorry to tell you, ladies, but that's what it is. Yeah. I know some of the things I say might be a little hard to swallow. That's what it is, right?
It's true.
So I gave you the analogy last week. Man, you gotta go, you gotta go. This is the place. This is for men, right? Man, you gotta go, you gotta go. So you sometimes you prefer, as I said, to be in the Four Seasons. Man, you gotta go. But you know, some other times you're just got get a gas station at a rest stop, and that's where you gotta go. So for men, we are not wired like that. In that we need that emotional connection and stuff like that, generally speaking. I know before we go any further, some of the women can come and chat. Yeah, they got a lot of women that don't need that emotional connection too, blah blah blah. But you and I, you know, generally speaking, if we decide we get our friends with benefits road, who's get caught up first? Generally speaking. Right? Let me see. Rihanna say women tired of getting their heart broken, so women are like, why not behave like the men and do what they want to? If you can't fight it, join it. It would have been interesting to have your perspective on Tuesday.
Yeah, boy. Oh boy.
It's a doozy of a discussion. But
yeah.
Here's the thing. I get the masculine approach in that, we went this route, and I had Neil put up a graphic on Tuesday that said, when you decide to, you know, do the get back at somebody horning and stuff like that, the only person you hurt is your father. Yeah. Right? But I said on Tuesday, and I'm going to say again, women trying to play that game, you're not going to win it with a man, right? Because, as I just said, if you with a man and, you know, you go and you do your thing, there's a level of connection that comes. Yeah, we know you all women in gay savage mode sometimes, and, you know, I'm a savage and all that. And you
classy,
may not,
bougie, ratchet.
Don't know why anybody would want to be ratchet, but okay. Yeah. At some point, if you keep going partner to partner, you might slip and catch feelings for one fella, right? Man, not so much. Sure, we could go knocking from pillar to post and come back home comfortable, don't dig nothing. That's just how we are wired. So for men, it's a lot easier for us to have that approach of just sex. You know what I mean? Maybe not so much. You see, Natalia say it must be an anomaly that caught up. Business doesn't work on me. My card's always on the table early. Well, when it was single.
Right. And that's fine, you know, Natalia. That's fine because to echo Derek's statement, you know, again, I hope we understand the rule now is that when we say women and when we say men and we talk about generalities, we are speaking who the cat fit, let it wear. We're not saying every woman from here to Timbuktu is this or that. I can stop explaining that. But yeah, we understand that there are some women that can shut that off and compartmentalize or whatever, right? But by and large, from our experiences, yes, my experiences and Derek's experiences as well, where we try the friend with benefit thing, and it is like, actually, we are approached where women tell us straight, yeah, you would get it. And, you know, when you say upfront, I'm not looking for a woman, I'm not looking for a relationship. The woman say, I tell you you're looking for a relationship, I tell you I will give you some of this here. And let me go, let me rock. Invariably, what happens is that, depending on how it goes or whatever, you know, the woman will, I'm not saying men aren't going to fall, but you will more than likely find a woman falling before the man, right? Because, again, we all know women are emotional, men are physical. Bottom line, straight, simple. And if we are not providing, because we are the providers, and y'all are receivers. So if we are providing, if we are not providing any emotional, like, stability or anything like that, or we kind of hand it bit by bit, women receive what they receive and want more of that. So yeah, the sex is good and the thumping up and everything. Everybody doing high gymnastics in the bedroom and enjoying themselves at 237. Shout out 237 ladies, the president. But yeah, it comes down to woman want cuddle, woman want sleep over, woman want like a meal cook, woman may want cook for you. The woman wants to do those things, particularly if she does not have that in her life at all. So
men don't need that. Men don't need that
What?
connection. Just,
Let's remind everybody. I think every episode we should say, what do men want? Name the list of things that men want in a woman.
peace, however you spell peace.
Well, no, that's it. Peace, Piece and Peace. Peace of mind and acts of the flesh.
Peace.
That's all we want. That's all we want. All the rest is just gravy. If she got a, she's a motherly instinct, she is nurturing, she is more this, she's that, she will cook for a clean fish, she got a big bottom, whatever. That is gravy. But again, I can always bring it up. If you ask 20 men if they would rather date a 4 that brings peace of mind and regular sex versus a 10 that can be miserable all the time and withhold sex as a weapon or withhold sex whenever she feel like, men gonna work with the 4. Just saying.
So Jimmy is saying to Rianne's point that it is causing more harm than good. How many miserable women are there because of that? And that is an interesting question, man. And like Tuesday, I found Tuesday very informative. I was bereft of utterances at one point because
shout out Mr. Sawyer.
Shout out Mr. Sawyer. I was like, what is it that I am really watching here or a part of? Because there seems to be a need to hold on to a particular code. So Jimmy, a lot of women will tell you that they're good and they're miserable.
But here's the joke though, and this is the code there is talking about. They would say that in a public forum. They would say that here. They would say that on social media. But when you get them one-on-one, it is a different talk. Every woman, and I'm exaggerating when I say this, every woman that I talk to individually about certain issues all say that that's if they're not in a relationship, that they are lonely and they just want someone to be with. And I ain't talk about some of the women, all of the women. And the age range is from as young as 20s to as old as 60s. They all want that companionship.
Yeah, but there seems to be an unwillingness to admit that. I get that ladies don't want to give up that power because knowledge is power. And if you figure that if a man knows that you are looking for that, he will take advantage of it. And I've been doing a little bit of thinking, a little bit of research into this, and that is a challenge we have with a lot of relationships today, in that women and men too, we confuse competence with power and power with competence, right? So this is why women hate the word submission, hate it. Right? Because it means to their brain, you're yielding, you're giving up your power to somebody else, right? As opposed to looking at it as a case of trusting in that person's competence to lead the relationship. And to get a little bit divisive and triggering, the reason for that is you haven't chosen correctly to begin with. So you know that you can't trust this dude that you with is not competent to lead a relationship. You know that. And as such, you cannot submit. You cannot give up to that, right? But so it becomes a power struggle because shoot, if I left this man, in the immortal words of my girl Nika, this man leading me on the whole I sing along.
Fact.
If you chose correctly,
you wouldn't have to worry about where he's leading you.
The competence, you know that you chose a competent guy, you ain't gonna worry about this, right? We ain't gonna worry about, whether this man can lead you in a hole or not.
I wanted to jet here there. I can't remember if it was you I was talking to or if it was something I watched, right? But the whole leadership submission thing was summed up perfectly, right? That leadership is described as net results. So basically, as the person leads, you're going to see the successes in his leadership, right?
Right.
Or her leadership, if that floats your boat. But the point is that leadership comes with success. And there are some women that see the successes in a man's leadership but still holding on to some pride or ego that he is leading. Am I making sense? Yeah, right.
I get you. Because, okay, for instance, in any team, let me look at the NBA, for example. It's two basketball men. Sorry for those who this reference may exclude, but we can talk about the Lakers because everybody knows LeBron James, right? When LeBron James goes to a team, he is the best player on the team. And as such, becomes the de facto leader. Right? There don't be no question about who running this thing is LeBron. The people that try to fight it faster get marginalized, right? Because that's what LeBron does. He kind of kills careers.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
That's on the side that we're not going to get into here tonight.
This is not the forum.
He's a career killer. Ask Chris Bosh.
Lakers in 7. Right? Anyhow, go ahead.
Ask Dwayne Wade.
Lakers in 7.
Anyhow, right? But I look at a guy like J.R. Smith, right? I reserve my comments on J.R. Smith right
on this family-friendly show.
On the family-friendly show, I'll reserve comment. But J.R. Smith, he played for Denver. It was a headache. He played for my New York Knicks.
Some of his best highlights with them, though.
He played for my New York Knicks. And then he went to Cleveland with LeBron James. And all of a sudden, J.R. Smith became a model citizen. He fell in line, did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, men that were known as knuckleheads suddenly playing their asses off.
Under the right leadership.
But it's dude, because the leadership was right. They knew.
Dwight Howard. So many.
It was clear that this guy was competent at his job. Right? Let me see.
I see. Somebody was saying, "Oh, Nika." I know if you want to read Jimmy, but I see Nika saying, "Y'all got jokes. Some men talk the talk, cannot walk the walk." That's the point we were trying to say. The point we were trying to say is that, it's leadership. Some men talk big. We all know those people that has talked big. Oh yeah, I could do this, I could do that, I could do the next. Ain't got nothing on the resume and say that they could do something and get the job. And then when they're in the job, they're overwhelmed because they lied on their resume and talk a big game and sweet talk management into HR, into giving them the position. Then they can't do it. We all know that. So again, we are not talking about those that talk the talk and not walking the walk. We are talking about the leadership and listen, I can say this once every episode. When we speak on leadership, we are speaking on the person that leads effectively. The man or woman that leads, that gains the results that were the goal. Yeah? We're not talking about a man where you question the leadership. You may question the leadership, but if you go ahead and the man's plan works out and everybody is relatively unscathed, the man is leading. The man's leading to the betterment of himself, he's leading for the betterment of you, and he's leading for the benefit of his family. So I just want us to understand that we are talking about leadership versus submission. We are not talking about submitting to, as direct and clear like duds. Submitting to a man that is worth that. Unfortunately, one can argue that not many men are that, but we got a reason for that and we can get into that another time.
Yeah, I see Layla Mears here.
Oh, Layla.
Welcome, Layla Mears.
I've never heard that name before. Nice, pretty name.
Neither have I, so welcome to you. She's saying, hey, everyone, it's amazing that the music issue was blown up to such detail when more important issues such as literally changing the Constitution without referendum is being done. It's concerning that more people aren't kicking up about the Republic. It's like they don't understand the ramifications of this decision. As to the music, it's also a sign of societal decay, but they can't criticize the Bajan artists while accepting the music that comes out of Jamaica. Darling.
I can like them. Amen and amen.
You can like them.
Yeah.
You can like them. Amen.
Amen. Where they going?
Shell Berry is in the house. Welcome to you. Good to see you. In this little 2x4 country, can we afford to have any tolerance for violence in any form? I don't think we can. Really. Yeah,
we can't. But music.
Anytime we start hitting, them kind of hundreds of deaths per year, we can start missing family members.
And this is the thing, right? I want to point out Bob Marley. I think it was Bob Marley. He has a lyric that says, "When music hits you, you feel no pain."
Feel no
So
pain.
any music, people. So even though we can't afford violence in any form or fashion, I think, as Layla said and as we said earlier, if you get to the point where it's reflected in the music and it is triggering you and making you angry through the music, find the source. Ask why, where, how, what, when.
Let me backtrack a little bit. Jimmy is saying he wants food from a woman. Yeah, man. Shahrazad Ali, the sister Shahrazad Ali, she said, cook for man. You see how fast he get
And hold on. Cooking for a man is part of what? The peace of mind.
Nurturing.
Nurturing the peace of mind. A man gives you his peace of mind, and you are to nurture it. You receive.
Kevin is saying it was damn straight for a genuine woman. A reserved comment. Good night to Tonya. She's
Tonya, good night, Tonya.
As always, Tonya. Rian, personally, I've done the friends with benefits thing. The key for me as a woman is to get involved with someone who's unavailable emotionally or physically. Example, he lives overseas. That way I can get emotionally detached. But in general, we women, or most of us, are emotional and will get attached. Oh boy.
Agreed, Rian. Yes.
Yeah. Let me just agree with that. I keep it trucking. I would love to go into this a little bit more, but I can keep it trucking.
On topic.
Jimmy says, guys, I have seen and heard many women complain about missing the companionship, and many men nowadays have been taught by their mothers, television, and school that they are worthless, dangerous, etc. That's another topic we got to talk about too. Because I said it last week, I think it was, that we seem to think that men have become disposable and expendable.
Women don't need but no, the thing about it is, Derek, it ain't a think. It is said every day on social media. I don't need a man. I can do all bad by myself. I can live my best life without a man. I could do for me independently. I could take care of myself emotionally. I could buy 2 or 3 devices and sort out myself physically. We are told that.
Yeah.
So if you are going, matter of fact, no. It's not the time, not the place. No, not tonight. We're staying on topic tonight.
So yeah, the approach is a bit more cavalier, to say the least, when it comes to cheating. But let me see. We got Kevin. Kevin is saying you're right. We can't afford it, but it has to be here. Barbados has it all fraud and drugs. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, let me just stay on there. So yes, there are a lot of people who are saying, as you said, Neil, that I don't need a man, I don't need this, I don't need that. And then, unfortunately, yeah, Kevin Seeley, up to today, heard over ask a man straight if you have money.
Yeah. And the thing is, when we say these things, you remember when we brought up certain things before, a lot of, and again, I know some women don't exist or don't engage women as we do in the same phase and fashion that we do, but you would be surprised the stories that we may have. Surprised.
Here's the thing, Neil. Here's the thing. The ladies in this forum, I find, are very intelligent, very intellectual ladies, right? But the onus now is on you to kind of break the code. You can't be afraid to break the code.
Yep.
Right? You can't be afraid, but I understand it, because when you attempt to do it, you get the pushback that we as men get. Right? You get the sign language coming out, right? Shoot. Even
tell them what sign language for those of.
Yeah, shaming, insults, guilt need to be right? SIGN. You get that pushback. So it was interesting after Tuesday's discussion. They had a couple of people that messaged me Tuesday night. There were people that came to me yesterday and today at work, right? At work, people came to me to discuss this thing, you know what I mean? And we created this space so that men could have the opportunity to put our side up there, and we could kind of bridge the divide a little bit. But in our attempt to do that, we are told, man, this don't exist. This don't happen. This happen for real.
Yo.
People seem to think that we making up
Yo,
things.
listen, honestly, right? I wish we can, because we, again, this was born out of our little, we have a group of friends, we met through basketball, but we became more than that, more than just basketball guys. And the men started to talk, the men started to free up, especially through COVID and everything like that. Men started to talk and everything like that. I know we have some limes every now and then when we can, where we talk about things. It's a space where men can, and women can come to it. I mean, but just know that that is a space where men will speak freely. Men will
Yeah.
not curtail their words to appease to your comfort. We are going to speak as if you are not there, right? And in doing so, you find a lot of conversations that are stimulating, that make you realize, yo, it ain't only me. You know how many times we would bring up things and be like, yo, yeah, boy, that happened to me and stuff like that. And then when we come in here to share the examples, so many times the women that follow the Senate, they're like, man, who women y'all dealing with? Y'all need to deal with your pool or this and that and the next. And as Derek said, you have to break the girl code, ladies. Hi, good night, Karen. Nice to see you. Steve, nice to see you as well. But you not only have to break the girl code, but you have to, the same way that we are creating this space to talk to men and speak for men and their perspectives. Not all men. We don't speak for all men because I don't claim to be a representation of every man. However, I would say that between Derek and myself and some of the guys behind the scenes that we talk to, we represent a good cross section of our society and probably the Western society. Anyhow, the point is that you have to go and engage your female friends. You have to go and encourage them to have these conversations, to come into this space or to create their own spaces where they can speak on things. I'm not just bashing, because honestly, we could have created this space and bash. But that's not what we're about, because first things first, it ain't our style. And secondly, what does that accomplish? What does that accomplish? Us belly aching every episode talking about, oh, this happened to be that happened to be women in this and that next. That is not going to accomplish anything, because we have children and we want your children to be successful in all facets of life, even if it means relationship wise. So, women, go and tell your friends, share with your friends, and hold your community accountable. We understand, we get it, the girl code. You don't want to hold yourselves accountable or be accountable in a public space. Fine. We understand. Hold your girlfriends accountable when they come to you and message you BS, when they share BS, when they share things that are not progressive into healing, because they're going to share and say some things that are going to be contrary to what they come and tell you in their down moments, when they're not so the shoulder blades in back and the chest out and the bass high in the voice. They can come with the, I really miss a man and I really would like some companionship. So let us get the conversation continuing. Let us continue to make sure that we have this conversation. So go back and tell the women, you don't want to break girl code, fine. But hold your community accountable.
Yeah.
Wait, I
here's
know
the
see you
thing.
send me some pictures there.
Yeah, I sent you some stuff there that I kind of need you to put on.
All right,
the
I can
screen.
download. Let me.
Because Natalia says, I heard one of my female students last night, she's 20, I think, tell another female student, my girl, watch these men, them ain't worth it. So
From young, you know.
So that's at 20, but it starts before then. I think I sent you the first one I sent you, Neil.
Wait.
About
All right, just give me a second. Give me a second. I still set it up. Give me a second. Oh shoot.
So again, just take a little time and
yeah, just I can tell you when they're ready. Just give me a second. Okay.
And this goes back to the premise when they said that men have become disposable and expendable. This is exactly what we're talking about. This graphic that Neil's going to put on screen is going to show you exactly what we are talking about, right?
All right. Give me 1 second here. I am going to topic. Let me just put in some pictures.
Yeah, and Kevin Seeley says break girl code. Ha, never, buddy. That won't happen. So
which one you want me to put up first?
The 3-year-old one.
Okay.
You want to put the 3-year-old. So check this out, guys.
All right. What's up now?
Yeah. Told my 3-year-old we needed to pick up dinner for her dad, and she said, Daddy's a grown man, he can cook his own food. And her response to that is, my work here is done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me go back into.
So at 3 years old, that's the approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was he next one you want me to put up?
Anyway, want to say to that. So let me leave it. I think it was Steve made the comment. Why do men get all the pocket shaming? How much money is enough money? So you can.
Oh no! But here, tune. Remember, we talked about it on Tuesday, and they said that why are numbers relevant? Why do numbers matter? So here's the question.
But I'm going to answer that for Steve because I get why it would be necessary, as you call it, the pocket shaming, because women generally speaking want a man that can provide for them, and I think that men should aspire to be able to provide for them, for his woman and his family and his household and stuff like that. I think so. I think that that's part of the job of being a man. However, I think I sent you another pic there, Neil. I think it might be the second.
There's the one about men settle.
No, not the one after that.
Men go broke.
Yeah, can we rest that on screen?
It is on screen. No.
Yeah. And for those of you who probably listening in the car and can't see it or whatever, it says men go broke, trying to prove they are not broke to women who are broke. Yeah. Let that sink in just a little bit. Just a little bit, So that's what we're dealing with. And then we all remember TLC and the song.
I don't want no scrub. The scrub is a good
can't get no love from me. And TLC was bankrupt.
And the best friend, right?
Broke.
Holla at me.
Broke like a joke. And women had no problem. The women walk and sing that song hard. Hard. I saw another me that said, the women were singing that song too hard. Okay, let me just leave that. That would be crossing the line.
Speaking of cross, I see cross saying, the last comment I seen is sorry for the long ass essay. So I assume that, because I looking at the screen, the actual stream, and I can't see all of the long ass message. But Tanisha, good night. Thank you so much for your contribution and for coming through. Hope everything is well. What's the next slide you want me to put up as you read?
No, I just check into. You could put up the settling one.
The settling one.
Oh, matter of fact, no, don't put that up yet. Give me the last one first. If you're not married, because again, this comes down to that how men are expendable, you're disposable. This is legit how people are thinking.
So you want me to put it up now?
Yeah, you please do.
Go ahead.
If we're not married, it's my child, and I don't have to give my child that I carry for 9 months the last name of a man who ain't my husband. He's just a father, and there's no long ties to him. Even if we're married, I don't need to give my kids my husband's last name. It's 2021. Hold
on a minute. My response to that is, who's proposing you? Who's proposing to you? You propose to the man? Because no, there it's 2021. It's 2021. I'm just saying, if it's 2021, we gotta wait to be proposed to. I'm just saying, if you want to buck traditional roles and traditional trends, that should be holistically. That should be I think that you cannot say that you want the beginning of a relationship to be traditional, and then you come from the stance of I can do this and I can do that. I agree. You don't have to name your children after me. You don't have to, whether they're mine or not. The fun, you don't even have to take my last name. Matter of fact, I remember telling my son's mother, I asked her while she was pregnant, are you going to name him after your last name? And she was like, no, she wants to name the child after me. She wanted to have a child for me. She wants to marry me. She wanted to marry me. The child will have my last name. The child has my last name. But I asked because I don't care about a last name. I don't care about a name. Once I have you or once I have the child and the child is healthy, I don't care about the rest. But I'm just saying, if it's 2021 and y'all want to keep pushing that to sound cool and trendy and to show how modern everything is, then let me throw everything and not just the baby with the bathwater. Let me throw everything outside.
Everything. So let me get to Cross. Cross is saying, hail people, hail Cross. My ultimate thoughts on this come down to curating your life. Curating your life. You speak of these things you see on social media, telling many things like, I don't need a man, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, the worst, all men are dolls. But I personally don't see any of that.
Behave. Come on,
Woo!
behave.
Not to say I'm living in a bubble. I choose not to be around that kind of thinking because it's crap. I don't follow or engage with people who feel that men or any human is expendable. There comes a point in your life when you just ain't got time for BS. Hence why when you share some of your crazy examples, some of us are clueless because we legit do not allow that kind of energy in our circles. You're saying that women need to go and have those conversations, 100%
Yes.
agreed, by the way. And I am more than willing, and I absolutely do speak up when the time arises. But you men also need to hold your peers accountable and call them out on
And
their
that's what we're
BS.
doing.
Remember Tuesday talking about it is what it is? No, it isn't what it is if you choose for it not to be. Double stand, that was convoluted to read. Let me see if I can read it again. No, it isn't what it is if you choose for it not to be. Ooh.
No. Before you continue there, I want to bring up the accountability part. I wonder if Katin remember this. I remember one time years and years ago, many years ago, it's probably over 15, 20 years ago. I was at a bus stop at the bottom of Culloden Road waiting for a bus. And I saw Katin there. And we was like, yeah, we know each other from basketball, what's up? And then two young boys started to fight. Two schoolboys started to fight. And Katin actually put down his bike and got into the fight and reprimanded those young men to say, listen, this is nonsense. What we're doing, we're fighting. They got people here, this how we want to conduct. When it's when it's boys that got grow up to be men. This is the way that when it's settling things over what I think they were arguing over like a candy or something. And he stood up there and he reprimanded them, and it was there standing. He actually made me feel bad. I never said this to anybody. No one knows this. But I actually like I stood up there and I did nothing as a man. But here's this man that parted the fight, one, and two, talk to the young man to say that is foolishness. So two, I want to shake hands and get over that. So I just you remember that too, Karin? Yeah, I just want to say that, in terms of holding men accountable, some of us are. We just would like more men to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, big up Kevin Seeley, man. Captain in the house representing. I would caution you to not do that.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Young boys dread. Okay, back across saying double standards only exist as far as you allow it in your own lives. Curating your life, everything. Trust me. Yeah, but again, I think we gotta break the girl code, right?
We talked about this on Tuesday night and Wednesday, Derek. Let us not try to get them to break the girl code. Let us at least try to get them to go back and understand that while the girl code is in public and it is there and they can't break it, still keep your organization and your community in check. That's all. That's all. If you're all not willing to publicly...
okay, let me look at it this way. Let me put it to you this way. I think we need to stop saying this is what it should be, or pretending that that's what it should be, so that's what we will work with, and deal to pretend that something is not what it is foolhardy, right? It does nobody any good. We're not saying that the double standard is right. We're not saying that, but it exists, and that is what it is, and that is what we have to work
And the only way it can change is if we have conversations like this and we hold our own communities, because we keep hearing this all the time. Who are you to speak on? Who are men to speak on women's bodies? Who are men to do this? Who are women to do? Well, rarely you hear that, but who are you to speak on? Right? And I'm saying that fine, y'all are not allowing us. Y'all are saying it's not our place to speak on a woman's body. It's not our place to speak on certain things. Then in your community, speak on safe sex, safe practices, and I understand their initiatives doing that. I use that as an example, but in terms of the nuances and behavioral things that you see around the place, you see your friend posting something and the caption is, I don't need a man, independent diva queen or whatever. Check her and say, yo, do you really feel like that? You really feel? And try to get to the bottom of it. If she genuinely feel like that, she feel like that, fine. But don't let us go down the whole point of not checking our communities, keeping our communities in check. Keeping our community in check. And You know, funny enough, that speaks to what we were talking about earlier with the Trojan Rhythm. If we were keeping our society in check, nobody would got nothing to sing about.
Yeah. Steve is saying, look at the example with the woman leveling up with the lawyer. Wasn't his money enough?
No, it was him. No. And funny enough, there, and I talked about this before the stream too. Women want things when they want it.
I have a saying, right? I have a saying. Fellas, talking to you know. When you deal with a woman, if she says, I want X, just put right now on the back end of it, right?
Yep.
You'll find that you operate in a lot less confusion now, right? So if she says, I want chicken, right, you just say right now.
Which is funny because when you ask a woman what she wants to eat right now, I don't know.
So just say right now.
That's a little joke here. Don't come for me. It's a joke. Just keeping things moving. Well, is it really?
Yeah, so let me go back. Jimmy says, well, that may be true. Generally, it is usually women who say these things. I'm not saying all women, but, you know.
Jimmy, I done saying not some women, all women. I saying if the cap fit. Because obviously, I can't mean all women. I can stop. I said I was going to say every episode, but I can stop making that distinction because Neil has not engaged every woman on the planet. Neither have the women engaged every man on the planet. Therefore, if I say something about women, I am trying to condense the words that I use by saying women and letting that apply to whom the cap fits. If you don't trust that that is how I see some women do things, for based on my experiences and my perspective and for Derek's perspective, then fine. But don't come for me with the semantic of some versus women, the generalization. I clearly do not mean all women.
Cross is saying she's seeing men holding other men accountable and I applaud them. Big ups. Rianne, I honestly believe women are hurt and tired. I have a married friend who has been loyal in all the years of her marriage, but she has been a lot. She has been through a lot. She has been a lot through him, forgiving him and forgiving again. Okay. According to her right now, she's living for her and doing what she wants. She's sick and tired of being sick and tired. Like I've said before, I've been an angry black woman. So while I may be able to check myself and deal with the issues and don't paint all men with the same brush, many women aren't able to do that, and then they pass that on to the next generation, and that is critical for me.
Well, okay,
because
go ahead.
I feel like again, you gotta break their codes. I feel like we kind of passing down some bad, some disadvantageous messages to younger generations and stuff that is just not going to help them. And to pass on that hate and hostility and stuff like that cannot be healthy.
Ain't doing nobody nothing, society nothing. And if I can add my 2 cents here, Derek, because I see Tanya here, the last message is essentially speaking to the same thing as Rianne. She says, I speak in my community, but a lot of women are really traumatized and you can only check them. Now, here's the thing, right? The funny thing.
Before you go, Neil, I want Tanya and probably Rianne as well, because Rianne talked about it. Just outline for me what really happened in terms of being traumatic. Right? What were the things that went down?
Well, to me, I would be honest there, that doesn't matter to me in the sense that it is funny because everybody has been traumatized in relationships, right? Man and woman. Because at the end of the day, the difference here is women speak about it publicly, men speak about it privately, right? I think that being traumatized hurt people. We're all hurt. We're all traumatized. We all wear our experiences on our shoulders and we perpetuate and we pass it on. And I think we need to, I love the fact that I'm hearing that the women check into one another and check in the communities and everything like that. But being angry and upset, and I'm learning this. I am letting you all know I am learning this. And I have had to learn this so that I don't be bitter and hate women based on things that would have happened to me, is that I have to understand why. The why is critical in understanding why you are traumatized or why someone else is traumatized. Why? Why are you traumatized? So
that's why I asked them to give me a little outline of what really went down.
Yep. So once you understand the why, it will better understand how you can heal from it. Because to say that you know, and I understand, I appreciate that everybody's giving their perspective from women. I am just adding this is not competition. I'm not saying, but men, I'm saying that from what I am hearing from both sides is that we are all traumatized. We have all had a heartbreak. We've all had somebody do us dirty. We've all had things not go our way and us feel like dog doo-doo. And what I find it is critical for me is to, all right, Jimmy. Jimmy says you got to go. Thanks for joining us, my brother.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah, be safe. We'll see you next week. Is that you have to kind of find out why you are traumatized, and the why is going to help you understand what is happening and how to move about in healing. Because it is easy to say you could be angry black man, angry black woman. You could, I don't need a man, I don't need a woman, I give up on women and stuff like that. I must say that every week. I done with women, but anyhow, the point is that you have to come from a space of understanding why you are traumatized or why the person is traumatized so that you can heal. Because to hold on to that and to kind of avoid it and hide yourself under women and hide yourself in shopping and girl trips and drinking and partying and not addressing the issue, all you can do is pass that on because you're not healing. So the next relationship you get in as a man or woman, certain things can make you raise an eyebrow, put you into PTSD from your last relationship or relationship in the past, and you will perpetuate. And I have done that too. I have done that where I've had PTSD and I've projected it onto someone new and created a whole set of new problems and hurt people. So if you're going to talk to your communities, don't just say that they're traumatized. Don't just hear that they're traumatized. Try at some point to find out why. And to let them understand that that was that person, or that person has stuff to go through, or it might not even be about the other person, maybe about you and your experiences and what you need to heal from. But if we stick on the I am traumatized, or she is traumatized, or we are traumatized, we can just get in our circle and say, yeah, we traumatized. So what we can do about it? We can attack the other group. Nah, we can't do that.
Yeah. Kevin is saying, and to think we have what it takes to help each other along, but she's so much self-centered approaches in life. To your point, Neil, I do that. This is why we preach about. We talk a lot about therapy, right? And finding out somebody to talk about stuff with, because as you say, hurt people, and is a case of us. We need to try to find better ways to heal and deal with. This is how I look at it. I look at relationships as a trip to a hotel. So you go to a hotel, and then let me use the Four Seasons again. You go to the Four Seasons, and it's really nice.
You just checking the Four Seasons and the pseudonym.
I wish. But yeah, let me use the Hilton here in Barbados. So you get the Hilton, and you go in and it's really nice, and you say, oh, they got this, they got that, and next thing third. And at the end of your stay, at the end of this relationship, you pack up and you roll. And if you're going to, let me say, the Accra after that, you don't take out the Hilton linens and roll with them and carry them in Accra. You don't do that. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You don't carry Hilton towels and carry with you. You know what I mean? When that relationship is done, when that visit is done at that particular establishment, you take out your Georgie bundle and go and leave the Hilton things at them. Yeah? Conversely, if you go down to the Super Villa in Pickwick Yacht, at the back of Kensington, don't expect that when you go down there, you're going to find Hilton amenities. It just ain't happening. You know what I mean? It just ain't happening. And I think there that you don't want to take it anyhow.
I don't even know what you're talking. I don't even know what the place is. It sounds seedy.
When that is finished, when that is finished, well, I used to teach about
okay.
So that is like through a track and you're there, right? But when that experience is done, you roll on to the next, right? And you treat every relationship as something new and going to in good faith. I find that we don't go into relationships in good faith. Why? Because we haven't been able to heal from what happened.
Amen.
Before.
You know how we feel about that sort of thing, boy. Amen.
Yeah. So we go in and we automatically think, oh, men ain't shit. These men is this and that and third. And that's what happened. Kevin Seeley, I missed that comment. Okay, the chat is taking on.
All right, let me see. How far back we going? You said Kevin Seeley. Kevin Seeley. You mean out of
Yeah.
so out of curiosity? This is no wait. Hold on.
No.
Let me see if I can find it here. Kevin Seeley. I myself feel like to hell with love, to hell with being caring
Correct,
or
that one.
mindful, but being a bitch just ain't who I've been shaped myself to be over the years. So I am back up trying. And that's the thing. That's coming from a man, and he sound traumatized to me. It's not that men can't speak on women's bodies, lives. Men shouldn't speak for women or mansplain. If it is not invited, and if he doesn't actually know what he's talking about, it's that men and women should have healthy discourse in such a way that we all learn, and then we can actually represent each other in ways that doesn't make the other feel misrepresented. When a group of people keep saying they are hurt when other groups does X or Y, we should really listen. Tanisha, I let you. I can let you know, right? We can have a drink. Well, we can't have a drink because, but I'm saying that you are cool people because you agree with that. However, there are a lot of women that as soon as you speak, if you give your opinion on anything that a woman does, you're out and bad. You're gone, right? But I do agree on what you're saying in terms of mansplaining or speaking for women. I understand that and I agree. Tanisha's responding to Rihanna. Yeah, many of us need more healing than we realize or know how to get. Nika. Oftentimes, I can't deal with the hurt some women express. I am out of my depth and I can only listen. And that's fine. Some people just need to listen. But what I would suggest is that when you are out of your depth, as you've explained, you can say, I think you should consider speaking to someone more qualified.
You gotta put it up
Yep.
there.
Since we started this space, Derek, as I told you, a lot of people have been reaching out to me about therapy and who's my therapist and who to talk to and whatever. And I offer solutions. Tanya, this is so true. It is rough for women as well. Tanisha goes on, mental and emotional health communication skills. They sound and sexy, but those are the very things as we as a collective must work on the most. The unsexy conversations cross. Now you are speaking from a position of being married, and it's not that I've forgotten you and Lisa and the other married women in the chat. I will message you all, but when I can do that more closer to when we're talking about the particular topic where we get your perspective as a married woman and others. But you're speaking of a position of already having essentially your praise. You are married. You fulfill that role for you, and I find that a lot of people are still meandering, trying to find what you have. And in doing so, you would have obviously gone through your steps, your processes, your due diligence. You will have your ups and your downs. You would have obviously made sure you're mentally, physically, you make sure that you're in the right space, but mentally, you try to make sure you're in the right space as well. You communicate. I'm sure you would have worked on yourself, and your husband may have worked on himself as well for you all to have the union that you have. But a lot of people out here are individually hurt and are unable to find what you have simply because they feel as though it cascades back to them.
Yeah, you got
Right.
Shelberry say, I agree, we've all been traumatized, hurt, and we in some way or other have all hurt someone else. The same generalizations that some of us make based on our experiences. Someone out there is making generalizations based on their experiences with us. Fact. See, so out of curiosity, not being funny, how can I help? We offered if the walls are so high or the gate is closed. People are so private and it's hard to give assistance or insight without the pieces being shared within reason. And that is why we have created this space. So you have the opportunity to say it. And if you don't want to say it in the chat, shoot, people have showed me often off thing. And that's why we push the therapy thing.
Talk it out.
Find somebody and talk it out with, because you can't get over certain things by yourself. I was having a very riveting discussion with Dion over the past 2 nights. And I was making it, to Karen's point, for many women, it wasn't just one person that adds to the trauma. And you're right. Dion and I were having a very riveting exchange. And I was making the point to her, because they went back to the whole, body count thing. We ain't going back there tonight.
No.
But
No.
Every time you leave a relationship, you suffer some kind of injury, right? You might, in some cases you will leave with a bright hand, other cases you left with a little paper cut. But there's always some kind of injury, and you need to heal from those injuries. You need to find a way, and obviously the more severe the injury, the more time it's going to take.
Derek, basketball, when you sprain your ankle, you ain't gonna play next day. Well, you shouldn't, because you may end up
You
doing more
shouldn't,
damage.
right? So, we got to find better ways to process and heal. And that's why we always recommend the therapy thing.
I want to use this
Um,
opportunity to say, Dwayne Harris, he took his life yesterday, last 2 days. And I didn't know Dwayne. I just knew of him because obviously when we were younger, we used to party and whatever. And he was always a very jovial, happy person. As I said, I didn't know him, but by all reports, he was a happy person and he took his life. And a lot of people know are kind of wishing that, I guess, they could have helped in some way. This is why I'm saying, regardless of relationships, regardless of what's going on in your life, regardless of whatever, don't just go to therapy when you got man problems or woman problems. Go to therapy regardless. Find someone that you trust, that you can speak to, that has the professional acumen to help you get through what you're going through. Trust me, it ain't no longer 2050. I mean, sorry, 1950, where people talking about, you going to a therapist, so you mad. Yo, the world is constructed that it is almost as if it is made to break us. So do your due diligence. A lot of people going to the gym, a lot of people taking care of themselves socially, a lot of people taking care of various different things. Mentally is as important as your physical. As a matter of fact, I would say your mental is more important than your physical, because without your mind working in its way, you can't function effectively. So don't wait until, don't wait until, don't wait until.
yeah, Erica is saying good night all. Just tuned in. How much emphasis is playing on raising our boys to be good men and partners? Then, from my observation, a dominant feature of our culture is promiscuity, and unfaithfulness in men. Men encourage other men to cheat.
Mm.
Yeah. Men mock men that are committed to one woman. Men tell younger men to pick the side chick carefully. Don't go for one that won't know her place and will shame you publicly or try to embarrass the wife. Then I see men excuse men that cheat, claiming that some men can't help it. Like, really? And Justin asks the question, who are
It's
these
Justin
men?
Clark. Justin Clark, good
Yeah.
night. Listen to me, boy. We playing phone tag. I call you, you call me, and we missing each other calls. So tomorrow, at least shoot me a message or something, man.
Um, Erica says she finds it common in male dominated environments like uniformed services, police, firemen, etc. Ah, I don't even know what to say to that. It's not been my experience, as the women will say here. I know based on our own little cross section of people that doesn't happen. I find it to be quite the contrary, where men kind of encourage you to hang in there and work it out. If it's not going well, men will say, well, yeah, you need to let flat out,
Yeah.
point
Yep.
blank. But I've never experienced the encouraging to find somebody else. But if that's your particular circumstance, that's what it is. I can't say that it isn't. Um, Omar, okay, we got that ready. Just in the same, men do not have enough
Amen,
outlets.
amen, and
Cheryl is
amen.
being bad-minded.
What Cheryl saying?
Her lot not going forward in the playoffs.
Don't worry, your time coming. Wait.
No, she's
Oh,
there
okay.
already.
I was just saying. I was just saying.
Rihanna says, yes, it's so sad. Can't believe he took his life. Men suffer depression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not only that, it's not even taken seriously for a lot of men sex calls. Yes, that is the unfortunate part. And even here in this particular forum, when we say as men what's going on, a lot of times we hear, "Man, that don't happen," or "Man, we're making sport." My dying true. And then there's that side, and then there's the other side that says, but you thinking that way is we've seen in this particular chat, we've seen sexist, misogynist, we've heard
Childish.
juvenile. So even in this particular forum, when men say certain things, that's the pushback you get. And the pushback is fine. But I just want you to consider that everybody may not be able to deal with the pushback. And when a fella says to you, this is how I feel, that is how he feels. You know what I mean? And you need to consider it a little bit more seriously, because I know in the deep in your subconscious, in the deep dark recesses of your mind, when a man says certain things to you, your default goes to, "Man, this is what you really complaining about, my man about this
Wait,
here."
a woman tell me,
You know what I
woman tell
mean?
me a few weeks ago, you really ain't got nothing to complain about. You think you got a hard life? You just get a little depressed every now and then, but you ain't got a hard life. I was like, oh, you just get a little depressed every now and then. Okay, all right, cause you know
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Right now, I think I found a good man, says Rian.
Oh, very good. Oh yeah, yeah, Rian, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm glad for you. I actually happy I saw
Is
some
it because,
pictures. Anyhow, I don't want to talk business, but yeah,
yeah,
you're
please
not
don't
happy,
talk about
man.
business. See, I can't even say I know, because a part of me is still waiting for it to blow up in my face. You've healed, but some scars never completely leave. And that's why I talk about approaching the relationship with good
Hmm.
faith, right? So you
But that's real
really,
hard, though.
you
You know,
don't want
that's
to,
real hard for you, if you, especially if you're not healed, there, boy. That's real hard.
yeah, I understand that, but you don't want to approach something with those insecurities and requiring that affirmation, because it then bothers the good stuff you got going
Hmm.
on. You know what I mean? In cricket, they would tell you you got to play every ball on its
Yep.
merit. You know what I mean? If you get a good ball and you decide you want to like go a swipe, you can get ball and you're out. You know what I mean? So you got to play every ball on its merit. Sorry to use the sporting analogies for the people that don't follow sports, but we talking main things. You got to play every ball on its merit. You got to treat every situation as it is. For example, right? I remember way back in the day, my daughter's mother and I, we took a trip and we went to Miami, and we went after that to North Carolina. In Miami, we stayed at a resort called Mystic Dunes, right? Real nice place. I mean, like top of the line stuff. Then we visited a friend of hers in North Carolina, and we had to drive, we were in Greensboro, we had to drive back to Charlotte. And we decided to do the overnight thing. And we stayed at a particular establishment called the Red Roof Inn, right? Mystic Dunes, it was not,
Hmm.
right? And it was particularly hilarious now, looking back at
Hmm.
it, right? But at the time going through it is like one of them situations where you sleep in your clothes and you're bathing in slippers in the shower. One of them kind of
I wasn't
situations.
staying there, not me.
You know what I mean? Um, but you had to have an appreciation for the fact that the Mystic Dunes, it
It
was
was not
not.
Mystic.
There was nothing mystic about it, right? But again, you couldn't say I wasn't going to go to my next vacation, staycation, wherever, and say, well, the last experience I had was this, so I going into this with the mindset that everything gonna be the Red Roof in after that. You know what I mean? So Cross is saying you do have a good man, but anything can happen. Can't swear for anybody. Sadly, yeah, I get it, but when something happens, deal with it then. Don't, because you can be robbing yourself out of more pleasant experiences when you kind of waiting and
Hmm.
apprehensive, waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? I hope I'm making
No, no,
some
you
sense
make
there.
perfect sense. I mean, as much as I said, it's very hard, right? Because some of the trauma that people would have experienced would be very severe. I could tell you, for me, my trauma came from, there was no, like, literally my trauma is not from something very direct. It's not from something like a horn, another man, or like, it has to do with individuals and with life and handling life and adapting to life. So it is interesting that you say that, because, even though it is hard to kind of go on good faith and go with eyes wide open, but still be free up. I do agree. If you go in there saying, "Yeah, I can get horn, or I can get her, or you last man horn me, or you last person horn me," you can get, you can rob yourself of the blessings. It can be hard, though. I would just say in practice it's hard. I do agree with you, but Lord have mercy, it's hard.
Right, I'll tell you this, right? Let me share another story too, to kind of see if I can crystallize what you're trying to say. When I was about 7, 8 years old, I went to an amusement park, right? Might be Coney Island. It's been a while. I can't remember how long it was. I can't remember exactly where it was, but hey, and I did a roller coaster ride. I did the entire ride like this. You know what I mean? So it was all I know is that I experienced the ride, but did I really get the full experience of the ride? Nah, because I was petrified as a little man. You know what I mean? So I guess that's why trying to kind of encourage people to experience it, live it. You know what I mean? If something happens, then you deal with it. And that's why we recommend therapy, you know. So how you go get some therapy, call that like your doctor visit. You know what I mean? They talked about injuries you suffer. That's your doctor, your QEH, FMH visit. Get healed, come back again strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Process saying, know that you mentioned that getting feedback is a tough one when it's not 100% positive. The ego sets in and we don't like it. But a lot of that feedback is so helpful for our
Ego,
growth.
boy, ego. Oh my gosh, ego.
We talked about that on Tuesday, how sometimes you gotta submit the ego.
Shoot, but hold on a minute. Not only that, right? I do agree about submitting ego, but it goes beyond that because we're talking in the context of relationship, but I find in life we just have a perception and an ego about ourselves that as you rightly said about the hurt blocks us from our blessings, right? Like we are very hard, and I'm guilty of this. I'm a very stubborn person. Those who know me don't comment, please, because that's not necessary at this time. But I'm a very stubborn person, and I find that there are times where I've gotten criticism or gotten some honest feedback on something, and because of my ego, like, you know, you feel that you got it covered or that would never be you or whatever, it prevents you from really seeing, and you gotta go through something really hard to realize you like them right here. So I do agree with the ego, and I would like to deep dive in that another time about ego, especially men's ego, when and where it is appropriate to have that ego and to puff out your ego, but also when you should just kind of cool it.
Kevin is saying it once read somewhere as it relates to trust, you are inclined to trust a person until they deceive you, because it's only when they deceive you that they prove you need to delete some of the trust account. Yeah, you got a good faith, man. Clear, I am very worried about Benjamin. Recently, I feel as though we are losing men every single month, and I don't think we can continue to discredit the seriousness of men's mental health. Girlfriend?
There is now that you say so, right? There is a
a men's
important thing that somebody put up. It's Sunday or Saturday. I actually be very, very interesting to go to that to see how many people come out on what it said there, because I have been to one of these organizations that had a men empowerment thing, and to me it was laughable because those men, I mean, we get called bitter old men. Them men bitter on wool. Like, sheesh, that man bit like them men was saying, yeah, when you look at we need to carry back the schools to being single sex. Yep, single sex. Co-ed is we're ruining the modern man, and we losing jobs to women in the middle management or white collar jobs, and you know, we need to return to a society back when women got scholarship got degrees for not degrees CXCs for textile and it was like me and another partner of mine were in that, and we literally had to get up and walk out because like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
I just sent it to you, Neil, if you want to put it on screen. For
remember I still got some other things. Yes.
To access the information.
Yeah, just hold on one second. Let me just cue that up here.
Cross is saying, Neil, that woman who tell you so was totally out of order. No one has a right to tell another you don't have anything to complain about. So because someone else is suffering from one thing, cut off again.
All right. Let me again just put up the flyer here now. So I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if we can make it a little bigger. Let me see if we can make this a little bigger now, real quick. This is the best way I know how. Oh, get going. Right. I hope everybody can see it. You can let me know if you can't. Yeah, that should be it there.
So hopefully it's on screen.
Yeah, Men Empowerment Network support present men's thought. As a matter of fact, the person that shared that with us, a man, he laughed and said, "Nobody don't care. Nobody don't care about empowering men
Yeah,
and listening to experiences influencing man. Nobody don't care. Nobody don't care about men." So
yeah, and that's the disturbing part about it. That there seems to be the
prevailing, yeah.
prevailing thought that it makes no sense saying anything because men don't. Nobody cares.
Mm.
Justin is saying what I'd like to know that what what okay, so what I'd like to know is that many men are in psychologically abusive relationships, suffering from many external pressures because in this world people come for us for reassurance and to solve problems, but we don't have anyone to go to for these things. And that's a fact. I remember a partner of mine, he passed away when I was about 18, 19 years old. And I remember spending a lot of time comforting people and making this is at church, so comforting the younger people at church and stuff like that, because everybody was obviously devastated with
Right.
this, right? One of us gone along so
Mhm.
early, and I remember I did a concert the day after his funeral, and I remember I was crying by myself. You know what I mean? Um, People don't care,
People don't care. People
So
don't care.
I was the person there for a lot of people, and then they found out I was there for
Yeah.
myself. So it's something that I kind of leaned into a little
Mhm.
bit, and I didn't cry from then till like,
Yeah.
last year. So Steve asks, what about women that subconsciously practice self-sabotaging in relationships? I have a friend who would pick a major noise with the person she's seeing just to see what kind of man he is.
Listen to
I, a-
me.
I asked her why she does this. Her answer was to see what kind of energy he brings to the relationship, etc. Example, dominant or submissive.
Listen, women, stop that. Stop that. Stop. Listen, I think I talked about it in this space already, but I dated a woman very briefly. It didn't last a month. Where the woman used to pick a noise, like one night I called the woman, "Hey, how you doing?" or whatever. And she was like, "So what you doing?" I said, "Well, I just hear you not lying on there." "So you lying on there, you can't call me?" I was like, I talked to you all day on, at that time it was BlackBerry. I was talking to you all day on BlackBerry. She said, "Yeah, but you could have called." So then after a while of this happening, a few days, I like, "Look, you picking a noise all the time. What happened? What's the problem? What's really going on? Are you unhappy with me or whatever?" She said, "No, she like to test her man or any potential partner to see what kind of man he is, to see if she's gonna be a woman that's gonna walk over the man or if the man can hold his own." I was like, and let's just say that did not last the rest of the week. Because Neil ain't about that.
Yeah, men want peace, man. They think you got one day. Something about men settling.
Yeah,
You can
man
put that on
selling. I can
screen.
put that on screen now.
Yeah.
On screen right now.
Yeah. Justin says, I have had to work through many painful experiences on my own, and I know if it was a different man, I may not be here today. Now I keep a few days close to bounce thoughts off and to share exactly that. And that's what we did in our own
Mm-hmm.
space. Justin, we had to kind of create that one little community, and you kind of share in there, and everybody. And it's funny that you say that, Justin, because recently we began a lot of messages. A guy will reach out in chat and say, man, I just happy that other men, you know, have been here to kind of help you get through whatever they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and Tony is saying it's good you have your own community to lean on now. Cross, I agree, Derek. People will hold you back. You will not fully enjoy fully. However, you can't control another human being, only yourself. If shit goes down, work on yourself to the point that you won't fall apart if the relationship does. Correct. Steve never understood why, and she's probably like the second or third person I've heard doing this. I saw this site for a sound as well. If somebody just want to pick a noise, yeah, I tried a very similar one of them too. And it was like, as you said, the laptop man, that's get old. That stuff get old
The thing
real
is, the first
fast.
2 weeks was sweet, nice talking late, you might meet up and kiss up a little bit and thing. It was sweet, going a little date here and there, getting movies, laugh, talk. We were both into basketball, so that was nice and neat. And then the woman just used to pick a noise. I remember one night, actually, remember we used to play for the the Thunder, right? And you remember there was that game where we played, I think it was the Lakers. And I like
Yeah, yeah.
over 20 points. And, you know, we,
And we as a team did not get the
Right.
40.
And we had lunch after that. She had come and watch the game, and we had lunch. And the woman went and said, "Yeah, you didn't play well." I was like, I don't. She said, "No, you didn't play well." I said, "I led the team in scoring. I was the only team member in double figures, and I was the only person that scored for a half from my team." And she said, "Yeah, but you could have. You didn't play well. You play. You actually. She actually used on. You played like shit." And I was like, I was like, "What context?" She's like, "Well, you're not fit. You're not getting up and down the floor." I said, "I understand that, but I don't understand. You never see me play before to say I wasn't playing well or not." And she said, "Yeah, you didn't play well." And that came up when we had the arguments and everything like that. She said, "Yeah, she was just testing to me, see how I would respond to criticism."
Well, keep it saying happiness is an inside job, which was what Nick said. I think you need to be happy alone first, or not be dependent on a relationship to make you happy. If the relationship falls apart, you should know your reset buttons. Yeah, I agree. Karen, this is an interesting one. I remember hearing something like this from a woman. She said the reason she did it was because she needed to learn what kind of man he was when he was angry. Her reasoning was based in a previous abusive relationship.
Like we got. Do we have to point out?
She explained.
Sorry.
She explained that the man who abused her was extremely charming, but when angry, he turned into Hyde.
And then she pushing that on the man, verbally abusing the man or whatever, putting the man through emotional stress unnecessary just to see how the man can push buttons, how he reacts to it again. He push buttons. That shows me that you plan to push buttons on a regular. I don't know. I don't know.
To Claire's comment about mental health, Tanya says, "Claire, it starts with boys." Indeed, it does. Check our schools. The boys are so angry.
And emasculated.
Yes, I have a friend of mine who said exactly that.
Emasculated.
Karen, that crap about men saying nobody cares. Why don't they care about themselves then? Women's movements didn't become as big as they are now by men caring. They fought for what they wanted. Men must do the same for themselves.
All right, Karen, that's what we're doing now. You can just leave that there.
Tanya says we are waiting to handle the fallout when they are men, but we definitely need to find out why our boys are so hurt and angry. Both men and women play a part in this, and the boys are suffering.
Oh, that is a multifaceted, multi-layered. That goes down to the same societal decay that we talked about. That goes down to, shoot, I would even venture to say, and this is gonna be a little controversial, right? So buckle up, women. I even think like movements like.
You get ready to tip your hand.
No. Well, I can try not to. But movements like the Me Too movement and the Life in Leggings movement have empowered women to go wholesale and full tilt on boys and men that don't deserve that treatment. Therefore, they feel as though they're in a space where they can't speak on certain things or give opinions on certain things or, feel vulnerable in certain instances. I'm not saying that the Me Too movement and the Life in Leggings movement isn't necessary. I'm just saying that there are some women out there taking those things and carrying it to a completely different side of the spectrum.
Guys, we coming up on the 10 o'clock hour, which is about time to wrap up. But I really want.
Don't forget, you got another graphic though.
Yeah, I see. Justin is saying, I find it's very important to impart many of these experiences on our younger men too. I've had to advise a younger man I know how to get out of an extremely toxic relationship. He was talking to a woman who was living with her kid's unemployed dad. The young man was paying half of her rent, started a business for her, and now he isn't even welcome around the business.
Oh my God.
Well, all right. Well, good on you, Justin, to get that guy out of there. Before we go, though, let me just look at this last thing that Karen
Don't
said.
forget, you got the graphic. Just let you know.
Yeah, you can put it on the screen. Settling?
No, I put it up already. This one is the first wave feminism.
Yeah.
That up, it actually up now.
Please
first,
put that up. So here, because we're talking about men being expendable and disposable and stuff like that. And
I like how they got racial about how we are men.
To go back to
Bad mind, bad mind, bad mind.
tell you as we need to find out where our boys are so hurt.
That's a
But
multi-layered.
I want to go back. I want to go
Multi-layered.
back to the comment that says, "Why don't men care about themselves?" Women's movements didn't become as big as they are now by men caring. They fought for what they wanted. Men must do the same for themselves. Fellas, this encapsulates it. Right? This encapsulates it. Right? And you know what? Karen, I agree with you. I agree with you. Men need to take care of themselves.
Yep.
Men need to take care of themselves. And I will always encourage men, especially since we are not needed and we're disposable. You know, break for yourself. Improve yourself. And anybody who is deserving will present themselves. Because this comment here is speaking volumes to me, right?
To me too.
Because why don't men care about themselves?
Tanisha, you said the graphic is utter garbage, utter rubbish, and that's not what feminism is. But that's the point. The point is we know that that's not feminism, but that is what women take on as feminism. That's the point. The point is that women would see something, well, not something like this, but would see the word feminism, and
that's
right.
What
So they
think
say we don't
means.
need men. That's feminism. Or we want to be equal as men. That is feminism. When that is really not it.
Exactly. So many. It's not a bad word. And this is what we talk about when we say ladies have to break the code. It is on you to break the code. Because there are some women that believe that that's what feminism is.
That's right.
Right? And when we talk about and we say that men don't want to hear, look what we get. Men gotta care for themselves.
You got breath for yourself, boy.
Yeah, men gotta care for themselves. Tanya made the point. You know, why are the boys so angry? And I can take behind you. Who's raising the boys?
Oh, but you know, if you say who's raising the boys there, then you say, but
leave it there,
right,
Neil.
right.
Who is raising the boys?
All right.
That's the question we gotta ask. That's what we gotta get. Mm-hmm. Who is raising those boys?
I remember some time ago we used to be on the basketball court, and I remember we used to make a joke talking about, you know, your gas people that are of a certain lack of education or whatever. But really, the salient point was, you know, I actually do believe this. I think we need to, and it can be a little controversial, but we need to move to a level where we have a competency level in order to have children. All right, that's a bit authoritarian, but if you understand what I'm saying people are having, like, it's so easy to have children, and there's a lot of people raising children that are not qualified to raise children, not qualified to have children, not qualified to, you know, be impregnated or to impregnate. And the unfortunate thing is that a subsection of society makes up and encapsulates those people, and they push it along to other people in the society. So,
and here we go, right? Claire says, yes, Cross, it pisses me off to see that narrative as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I think most people are of the opinion that feminism, in its like oversimplified state, means equality of choice. I think most men are down for that. And equality of opportunity.
No problem.
You know what I mean?
No problem. No problem. Men really don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Claire says women are the nurturers. Can we spread that inherent loving and nurturing to our children and our men? We don't allow people to hurt our children and leave them hurt. We should also consider that as a necessary role to play for our husbands and partners. But we just a woman cannot raise a man, says Karen. Said as a single mother, forced to raise her sons alone. Tanya says, Neil, I don't know about this and these groups and the relevance, but we definitely need counseling in primary schools. The homes are too broken to help the children. And that is where it starts. Home is the first agent of socialization.
Not the teachers, not the artists that singing about shooting and killing. Oh my goodness gracious.
At the home.
I will give an example, right? Sorry to cross you, Derek, but I gotta give this example. My son is doing really well at school, and he went into a new class recently, and he came home the other day and he was saying, you know, mommy, one of the boys, you know, school was good and everything, but one boy was talking about killing. And I know that you don't like that, and I know that that's wrong, right? That in itself shows you that one boy at 5 years old is 6 years old talking about killing and shooting and stuff, and my son feeling uncomfortable about it. That's all I gotta tell you about. And I'm not questioning, I'm not putting that person, the young boy's mother or parents into question. I'm saying it comes down to the things you expose your children to. I don't want my son going out knowing about no gun violence and knowing what it is to hold a 40 and a pump action. I want he to know none of that unless he going into the army or he going into the armed forces or the police work, whatever. I don't want my son to know what a gun feel like. I don't want him to know the weight of it. I don't want him to know nothing about it. I want him to see it in movies and say, wow, that was entertaining, but that is where that belongs. I want him to hear it in the songs and say, that is entertaining, but that is where that belongs. So,
Karen says, men are failing in their roles as fathers, hence the males we see today. Kevin asks, who raising the men? And that is my point, Kevin. Who raising the men? And to this point about men failing in their roles as fathers, who chose them?
Man, there you going far. Ain't even about choosing. I agree with you, but it's not even choosing. Both men and women are failing.
Coming at you again, Neil.
Both men and women are failing because at the end of the day, and again, when they say men and women, who the cap fits. Yes, men are failing, but women are failing as well because, as you said, a woman cannot raise a son. A woman can't even fully raise a woman, a girl either. You need that masculine to offset. Therefore,
and here we go, Neil. Here we go, right? If you pick poorly, right? If you pick a dud, you're going to get dud results.
if you play country games.
In the immortal words of my man Choco Minaj, an apple tree cannot give you pears. Right? You cannot decide.
Oh, I love this. I love this this graphic. Oh, I can put this on screen now.
Yes,
Ooh.
please.
Oh.
The choice is with you, ladies. If you choose, if you don't get a man, then guess what? He can't reproduce with you. Point blank. Point.
Unless you're the next version, I don't know. Mary.
Unless we gotta look for a star in the east and some men coming from camels. You can't reproduce without a man. Do not choose the worst of the men. Have children with them. And then decide, oh, these men ain't
We actually
shit.
said this a few weeks ago, you know, or I think it was last week, where we said, especially men, women have agency of their parts. Men can't tell a woman what to do with her body.
And that is fine. But choose
and if you choose
to whom you shall give those
and not
parts.
only choose properly with who you should give those parts. If you choose poorly and you know that this man ain't shit, and you bring that child to term, just know, as shout out Mark, I don't know if Mark watching, when you play country games, you can get country prizes.
Country prizes.
So, and that goes for men too. Don't get men guilty of it too. Do not go in some of these women raw just because they look good and they smell good and you know whatever. Because you know at the end of the day when that child come out and you realize this woman is an idiot and you don't come and check that child and the child grew up now to be a man shooting somebody down somewhere, that's on you too, you know, brother. Because you could have seen that woman and say you should look good and keep it pushing. And actually look for a woman that is worthy of raising your child in a proper way or having you feel comfortable to be there. So that's why I say, Karen, I understand men are failing in raising the men and the children. I agree. But you know what? Women are also to be held responsible for the poor raising of the children of our society today. I am not I'm going to say, when I say women and when I say men, when I use general statements, who the cap fit, let them wear it.
I am not as generous. If you choose poorly, that's what you get.
Yep.
Right? If you choose poorly, that is what you're going to get. Don't choose the worst man to bring, because here's the thing. You got choice of what you can bring into this world. Men don't. Right? So, shoot. If you bring in, I don't want to be disparaging to anybody's occupation or anything. So let me say, for instance, you bring in, you go and you allow yourself to be impregnated by someone of ill repute, and you produce a man, a boy of ill repute. What we expect you can get?
I see some comments here. I want to dive in here quick. That tweet is confusing. How you mean says I actually taken it to Nisha to mean that she being facetious. I really hope that she ain't being serious with that, but it speaks volumes nevertheless. Nika, how do you know the difference when many men leave right after the baby? So many women suffer this fate. Now,
But let me. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and again, I don't want to be mashing the boy corns. And again, I am not speaking as if I am a bastion of virtue. I certainly my righteous indignation in kicking in here, because I too am guilty. But marry before you carry.
Marry before you carry. Marry before you carry. Amen, amen, and
Marry
amen.
before you carry is a contract. If you want to get out, you can go pay.
Exactly. You want left when the baby born, you gotta pay some money.
As opposed to you just dealing with a dud, you get dud results. I know you left here with. You said I picked 2 duds, but I didn't know they were duds. Intelligent man raised well, poor here, but so they'd be the best fathers. But she still got women thinking they are good fathers. But again,
yeah, go ahead, Derek. You can handle that.
They can say marriage don't mean nothing in these days. It doesn't.
Yeah, but
it's more secure than being the open-ended something and in my where it's like,
yeah, you can't be married and duck up on your children.
It's like buying versus renting or leasing. It's a lot more entanglement. Sorry, shout out Will and Jada. There's a lot more entanglement if you want to get out of a marriage than a lease or a rental.
Yep.
So yeah, who raising the boys? That's what we got to ask. If the women raising the boys by themselves, we got to ask why. But that's the top of another thing.
Right, yes, and our community we're holding responsible. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us again here in the Senate. Thank you very much for your contributions, coming out, watching, listening. For the people that came late or came early but had to leave, we thank you very much. We always encourage you guys to keep challenging, keep pushing, keep asking, keep talking. Let's keep it going, because even though y'all have your opinions, we have our opinions, we have our perspectives, y'all have your perspectives, and we may challenge each other and may not agree on certain points. The point is that this is important. So many people message me every day and say that this space is important for men and women, just by the way. So it's very important. So we can keep going. We want you to keep coming out and bring your friends. Bring the women that have toxic behaviors. Be more vigilant of the women and men that are in your space that exhibit toxic behaviors, because as your friend, you may not see it, but trust me, we men seeing the toxic women in relationship standpoint. So, and I'm sure you women seeing the toxic men, we may not see them as men, but so.
Yeah, it's a fact. There's some women that I've heard men say they would never go out.
Yeah.
Never.
I can think, listen, off the top of my head, right? And I think
and there are women who come to this forum that men say, yeah, she's a good girl.
Yeah. I mean, they got women that look real good. They got anyhow. Trust me, they got women that are duds too. And I mean top flight women that are easily some of the best looking women in Barbados and maybe the Eastern Caribbean. And and there are duds. Duds, Duddds. Anyhow, socials, you can find us on Facebook, The Senate Podcast, YouTube, The Senate Podcast, IG, The Senate Podcast, at The Senate Podcast 246. And then if you want to email us, senateinsession@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can engage us whether privately or publicly through our social media channels. You can check us. You can send us stuff. We had somebody send us something. Shout out Claire, yeah. And we do plan to talk about your topic. We actually want to do that one right because we are not necessarily, yes, we have our experiences, particularly myself, but we still would rather a professional be there. So we want to thank you for the engagement. We want to thank you for the support. We want to thank you for everything you've given us and creating this little community. Bring your friends, keep sharing, keep engaging, keep sending, keep challenging. And
yeah, we love seeing the new faces every
man.
week.
So yeah, Derek.
Yeah, keep coming through. We love it. And as always, as you go forward into the week, be the best version of you for you.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, people. Peace and love.
So come wind back for me. I wanna see if we got good chemistry. And come wind up for me. Don't hold back, y'all. Just be free. I love how you